With young girls, nature seems to have had in view what, in the language of the drama, is called a striking effect. As for a few years she dowers them with a wealth of beauty and is lavish in her gift of charm, at the expense of all the rest of their lives, so that during those years they may capture the fancy of some man to such a degree that he is hurried away into undertaking the honorable care of them as long as they live, a step for which there would not seem to be any sufficient warrant if only reason directed man's thoughts. Here as elsewhere nature proceeds with her usual economy, for just as the female ant after fecundation loses her wings, which are then superfluous, nay, actually a danger to the business of breeding, so after giving birth to one or two children a woman generally loses her beauty, probably indeed for similar reasons. Young men ought to reflect that if the object which inspires them today to write madrigals and sonnets had been born 18 years earlier, it would scarcely have won a glance from them. After all, men are much more beautiful in body than women. It is only a man whose intellect is clouded by his sexual impulse that could give the name of the fair sex to that undersized, narrow-shouldered, broad-hipped, and short-legged race, for the whole beauty of the sex is bound up with this impulse. Instead of calling them beautiful, there would be more warrant for describing women as the unaesthetic sex. Neither for music, nor for poetry, nor for the fine arts have they really and truly any sense of susceptibility. It is a mere mockery if they make a pretense of it in order to assist their endeavor to please. They are incapable of taking a purely objective interest in anything. The most distinguished intellects among the whole sex have never managed to produce a single achievement in the fine arts that is really genuine and original, or given to the world any work of permanent value in any sphere. This veneration of women is a product of Christianity and of German sentimentality, and it is in turn a cause of that romantic movement which exalts feeling, instinct, and will above the intellect. The Asiatics knew better, and frankly recognized the inferiority of woman. When the laws gave women equal rights with men, they ought also to have endowed them with masculine intellects. Asia again shows a finer honesty than ours in its marriage institutions. It accepts as normal and legal the custom of polygamy, which, though so widely practiced among us, is covered with the fig leaf of a phrase. Where are there any real monogamists? And how absurd it is to give property rights to women. All women are, with rare exceptions, inclined to extravagance, because they live only in the present, and their chief outdoor sport is shopping. Women think that it is men's business to earn money and theirs to spend it. This is their conception of the division of labor. I am therefore of opinion that women should never be allowed altogether to manage their own concerns, but should always stand under actual male supervision, be it of father, of husband, of son, or of the state, as is the case in Hindustan, and that consequently they should never be given full power to dispose of any property they have not themselves acquired. It was probably the luxury and extravagance of the women of Louis XIII's court that brought on the general corruption of government which culminated in the French Revolution. The less we have to do with women, then, the better. They are not even a necessary evil. Life is safer and smoother without them. Let men recognize the snare that lies in women's beauty, and the absurd comedy of reproduction will end. The development of intelligence will weaken or frustrate the will to reproduce, and will thereby at last achieve the extinction of the race. Nothing could form a finer denouement to the insane tragedy of the restless will. Why should the curtain that has just fallen upon defeat and death always rise again upon a new life, a new struggle, and a new defeat? How long shall we be lured into this much ado about nothing, this endless pain that leads only to a painful end? When shall we have the courage to fling defiance into the face of the will, to tell it that the loveliness of life is a lie, and that the greatest boon of all is death?